All right. All right, these are caramel candied pecans, y'all. And I made these today, and I'm going to put them on a brown sugar pound cake tomorrow with a caramel icing.
Good morning, Grandma Rose.
Well, honey, it's afternoon. It's 2 o'clock. Oh, we've kind of had a morning, so good afternoon, baby. How are you this morning? Today? We've just been kind of hanging out this morning. We just got home yesterday about, I don't know, what, 4 o'clock? We've been out in Dallas, Texas with our grandson, and those of you that follow me know y'all saw us out there. So,
Hey, what did y'all make yesterday? If they hadn't seen it, they need to go back and see the last video. Yeah.
Sunday we did the beef and dumplings. Oh, y'all need to check that out. So good. Beef and dumplings, delicious.
No gluten.
Gluten-free.
Yes. Right, it's good.
Today we're doing a brown sugar. We're having company Friday night. I'm doing a brown sugar pound cake with caramel icing and candied pecans on top. The recipe calls for pecans in the cake, but there's some that don't like nuts in what they eat. So I'm just going to put them on top, and they can pick them off if they want to. They love pecans, they just don't like them cooked in things. So I've got 3 cups of all-purpose flour. And if y'all saw me, if you were paying attention, I was spooning my flour into my cup like this. Always do that when you're making a cake or when you're making any kind of baked goods, because it makes your flour light and fluffy and it's not packed down. If you just reach in there and scoop it, you're going to have packed down flour, and it's going to put too much in your baked good. All right. I am using salted butter. So the recipe calls for like a teaspoon of salt and unsalted butter, but that was like a 4th teaspoon of salt because I'm using salted butter. Some people don't even use the salt if they're using the salted butter, but I always do put a little bit. And it calls for 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Now that's baking powder. Okay, and I'm just going to take my whisk and I'm going to whisk this around just a little bit. I've got my oven on 325 degrees. Because I want to get that salt and that baking powder in there really, really well.
And this won't be low carb today, will it?
Oh, no.
This is high test, as I call it.
The ones that I'm feeding are, this is just something special for them because they're not low carb. They're not anything. They just like good food. So, all right. I'm going to put all that to the side. And I'm going to put this right here. I'm going to bring I got my recipe right there. I'm going to bring my mixer over here. And somebody said, when they saw my mixer, they said, shame, or something like that. You don't have a KitchenAid. I don't bake enough to have a KitchenAid. I did have a KitchenAid, but I gave it to my granddaughter, because she cooks a lot. She's got a family, and so
she does a lot of breads too with it, does she?
She does lots of breads, but she also does baked goods.
Cakes.
And so I didn't use it, and I said, you know what, Hannah, you want my KitchenAid? She said, "Ooh, Grandma, yeah." I also gave her my bread machine because I didn't make bread that much. Now I've had my eggs in warm water because I wanted them room temperature, and I sat them out, but it's kind of chilly here this morning. I mean today, and they weren't getting warm enough, so I put them in my water, in warm water. That's just a little trick. So I've given you 2 tips today. Spoon your flour into your cup or your bowl or your container, And if you don't have room temperature eggs, put them in warm water. And I've had my butter sitting out, but it wasn't getting soft enough either. So I put it in the microwave on soft melt just for like 30 seconds. And it got the temperature that I wanted it. Okay?
Now that's a pretty dish to pour your milk in with.
I know.
Isn't
I
that?
love it. I love it. It's one of my favorite things. Isn't that crazy? But it's one of my favorite things in the kitchen. I just love it. All right, we are going to put 1.5 cups, which is 3 sticks of butter. That's 1.5 cups of softened butter. And I'm going to add 3 cups of sugar. It's going to be 2 cups of firmly packed brown sugar, 1 cup of white granulated sugar. So this is not a healthy cake, okay? It's going to be delicious, but it ain't going to be healthy, I tell you right now. So, and it says to cream that for 4 minutes until it gets light to your butter and your sugar gets kind of fluffy. So that is 2 cups of brown firmly packed sugar, 1 cup of granulated sugar. All right, now my mixer is loud, so I'm gonna turn it on, and then we're gonna cut the camera off until the 4 minutes is up, and then we'll be back. We'll finish putting everything else together. I'm kind of starting it on low, and every once in a while I'll take a spatula and I'll just kind of scrape the sides down. Okay, I beat my butter and my sugars for 4 minutes. I just cracked 5 eggs. Room temperature eggs. Now I'm going to turn this back on, and I'm going to beat my eggs in one at a time on kind of low. And it says beat it just till you don't see any more yolk. Scrape my sides down, because this is not a KitchenAid, and it does not beat like a KitchenAid. It doesn't have the, I think my little attachment here may be a little small because it doesn't like to get around the edges. So I have to scrape mine down pretty frequently. Now, all we've got to add is our flour, and I've got, it calls for a cup of whole milk. Well, I don't have whole milk. So I took 1/2 cup of heavy whipping cream and 1/2 cup of water. And so I'm supposed to add this alternately. And I'm looking for my spoon. Well, I'll get another one. Okay, so I'm going to turn this back on, and I'm going to add some flour, then some milk, some flour, then some milk. And then here I have got some, it calls for toffee bits. I didn't have toffee bits, so I'm hoping this is going to work. So I had some little caramel bites here, caramel bits. And toffee bits I know are hard. These are kind of soft, and this is a cup. So let's hope it works. It'll be delicious, but I don't know that it's gonna work like toffee bits would, but I think it's gonna be all right. So we're just going to, I'm gonna turn my mixer on. I'm gonna turn it on low. And I'll do like 3 spoons of flour, a little milk. Now you don't want to beat your flour very long. You just want to beat it enough to incorporate it. Okay. And do more flour, more milk. Alright, I'm going to scrape my sides down, and then we're just going to continue until I use all my flour and my milk, and then we'll come back and I'm just going to stir my caramel bits in it. Now, if you were putting pecans in it, roasted pecans, this is when, after you put your flour and your milk, this is when you would stir them in. But since I'm not doing that,
our grandson Kale loves pecans, but not inside of food.
But he doesn't like them cooked in brownies. He doesn't like them cooked in anything. So I'm not
any kind of nut.
No, so I'm not putting nuts in it because he's gonna be eating some. So.
But you let him around a pecan and he'll eat it.
Oh yeah, he
in
goes
a heartbeat.
Out in the yard and picks them up and cracks them, and he loves them, but just not in food. Okay, I'm gonna finish this and then we'll be back in a minute. All right, y'all. This is our brown sugar pound cake batter. I'm making a mess. Now, when I was a little girl, this is when Mama would let me and my sister or my brothers lick the beaters. So,
since I'm the one that's going to wash it, can I get to lick the batter?
Sure you can. All right, now I am going to fold my caramel bits in. And if you're putting pecans in yours, this is when you fold your pecans in. You know what? It calls for 8 ounces of toffee bits. This is an 11-ounce package. This is what I'm using, just caramel caramel bits. Okay? So I'm just going to fold some of those in and hoping they melt in. If not, we'll have little pieces of caramel in our cake. All right.
Well, that'd be all right because those taste good. I ate one.
Oh yeah, they're delicious. Like a piece of sweet candy. Okay. Now, I've got my pan. I've got it with Crisco. Let me clean it off a little bit. I've got it with Crisco and flour. Okay? I don't want quite that much flour in it. So I'm going, all right. I beat a little bit of that out. All right. Now, we're going. Now, my oven is on 325 degrees. It's kind of a stiff batter, but pound cakes are. Okay.
I never met a pound cake I didn't like.
Oh, I know.
And when you put pecans on top of it or in it, you have just won me over totally.
Okay. Now, this is a Bundt pan. You can do it in just a regular pound cake pan if you want to. But this is what I use for all my pound cakes. Is a Bundt pan. Okay. My mama, I don't think ever owned a Bundt pan. She always had just a regular straight-sided pound, what we call pound cake pan. Chew pan, that's what we call it. Chew pan, okay? Well, I hope my pan, hope it doesn't rise too much. Or it may go over in my oven, but maybe not. Maybe it'll rise and then kind of stay in the pan. and not go over the sides. All right. And I hope I greased it and floured it well enough. That is a full pan, but it's the biggest one I have. It called for 12-inch. This may be a 10-inch, but you know what? We'll make it work. All right. My oven is set on 325 degrees, and I'm going to put it in. I'm going to set my timer. It says between an hour and 15 minutes and an hour and 25 minutes. Put a skewer or toothpick or something down in it. When it comes out clean, it's ready. I'm going to set mine on 1 hour and 15 minutes. No, I'm going to set mine on an hour and 5 minutes, and I'll check it. And then probably I'll have to go the full 115, but we'll see. But I don't want it to get overdone. And since you're cooking it so long, if it starts getting too brown for you, we like brown pound cakes, but if it starts getting too brown, just take a piece of aluminum foil, make a little tent, and put over it. So, I'm going to set my timer for 75, all right, no, an hour and 10 minutes, and I'm going to check it at that. So, I'm going to be making the icing in a little bit. I'm not going to make it right now. It's going to be kind of like a praline icing. It's a caramel, but it's a praline too. So we're going to be doing that in just a few minutes, but Roy and I fix and get all this cleaned up, and then we'll be back. All right, y'all.
What do you do if it doesn't come out?
Well, if it doesn't come out, you find out why. It's loose from the sides here. The only thing I can figure is right here is
where it boiled out over, cooked up over.
Let me get this. Okay, I have my butter on because I'm fixing to make my icing. All right, I'm gonna try it again, y'all. Let's try it. And if it won't come out, that must be stuck on the bottom. All right.
Oh my!
Yay!
Hey.
Okay.
Little icing will fix that beautifully.
All right, y'all. Now.
There was a little bit of sticking.
Well, I'm going to show you why. Show you why it stuck. And don't make the mistake I did.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to stick that on there. Do not make the mistake I did. You see that? That's those caramel pieces.
Settled to the bottom.
They melted and settled to the bottom. Put toffee bits in it. Don't put the caramel pieces like I did. It's not going to change the flavor, but that's the reason it didn't want to come out. It's not going to change the flavor at all, but do put the toffee bits in it. Don't do like I did. Don't use the caramel pieces. So, all right. I'm going to set that to the side and may eat that later because that's just melted caramel there. All right. Or caramel. I don't know what y'all call it. Sometimes I say caramel. Sometimes I say caramel. All right.
Okay.
And I'm going to get my stuck piece right here. I'm going to put it on. It may not stick.
You may get the super glue or some duct tape.
Nope. All right, y'all. Did you see that toothpick?
Yep.
I'm securing it with a toothpick. I used to see my mama do this all the time. All right, I'll just be careful when I'm cutting it. Okay, look at that, good as new. Okay, and when I get my icing on it, you won't even be able to see this, okay? All right, now.
Icing covers a lot of sins, doesn't it?
It does, it does. I am using a caramel icing out of my Heavenly Delights 2 cookbook, and some of y'all have said that you wanted it, so if you will, I guess, email me, roseabbott2325@gmail.com. I will have that in my description box, and let me know if you want one of these, now I'm getting this caramel icing. The brown sugar pound cake is in here and the caramel icing is in here. And this happens to be Deborah Johnson. She's a neighbor of mine. She lives up the road. And I'm using her caramel icing today. So if you will just contact me, then I can let you know the price. And we'll figure out a way to do a payment method. So, okay. All right, now this is 1 stick of, you want to come over here? This is 1 stick of melted butter, 1 cup of...
And how much is a stick of melted butter?
Half cup.
Half a cup, okay.
Right. This is half a cup of butter, and it's 1 small box or 2 cups of brown sugar, okay? And this is 5 ounces of evaporated milk. All right.
That's a little bit on the warm side, isn't it?
Well, I had it on, yeah, while I was trying to get my cake out of the thing.
Well, you just spread that across the world, how you stuck your cake.
It don't matter. It don't matter. That's the way it happens in the kitchen sometimes, y'all. So you just have to roll with it. All right. Now, once this comes up to a boil, let me see what Deborah says. Bring all ingredients to a boil, boil them for 2 minutes. Okay? And then, well, I didn't get a big enough spoon. After we boil it for 2 minutes, I've got a pan of cold water right here. Right there. Okay? I just put ice in mine because mine wasn't really cold. So, I'm going to boil this 2 minutes. Then I'm going to put my pan in this ice water. And we're going to beat it till it gets smooth. Let me see what she said. Oh, beat it constantly until it gets very thick. So that's what we're going to do.
What you going to beat it with?
With a spoon.
A spoon?
Yeah. Yeah. All right. And I've got it on medium high. And bring it to a boil. I think she said a small can you could buy the small cans of evaporated milk, or you could buy the 15-ounce can. But I didn't have a small can, but I'm almost positive the small can was 5 ounces. So I put 5 ounces of evaporated milk in here. So this was 1/2 cup of butter, 2 cups or 1 small box of brown sugar, and 5 ounces of evaporated milk. All right, now I'm gonna let it come to a rolling boil. You want to keep it over here, baby, so they can watch it? Okay, you see that?
Yep.
All right, that is a boil, one that you cannot stir down. See?
So that's a rolling boil.
Yep. All
By
right.
definition.
We're going to try for 2 minutes. Yep. And I'm just going to let it boil like this where I'm constantly stirring. All right.
Don't want any scorching, do you?
Nope. Do not want any scorching. This is kind of like praline. Caramel, it's a caramel icing. Now you can take white sugar. You don't have to use the brown sugar. You do white sugar and you melt it and you do all kinds of stuff, but not me. I buy brown sugar. So it's just easier. All right. Just keep stirring now and keep it on medium high. You want it to have this rolling boil the whole time. Now, I guess you can, I've never done it, but I think you could put chopped pecans in this and then spread it over your cake, but I'm not going to do that.
That's because you've already candied.
That's because I've already candied my pecans. Yep. And I'm just going to put mine on top. Okay. All right. 43 seconds. I'm hoping 5 ounces of milk is what's in one of those small cans. If it's not, when I may have to cook it a little bit longer after I beat it if it doesn't get thick. But you know what? It's all right. Because I don't care if it's not real thick. It can be like a glaze. When you're doing something like this, you just go with the flow. All right. We're fixing to...
You have to be smarter than the sauce, don't you? Huh?
No, you have to be okay with the way it comes out. It's going to be delicious anyway. So, just be cool with, just be satisfied with the way it comes out. All right. Now, what the recipe says, put it down. Now, don't let water get in your,
I thought you were going to pour it in ice water.
no, don't let water get in your pan.
Starts cooling pretty quickly, doesn't it?
Yeah, but it's not. I'm going to use a whisk
Okay.
right now. Maybe that'll help it. It's got to cool down some and start getting thicker. All right.
If it doesn't, you're just going to start calling it a glaze.
It's just going to be a glaze if it doesn't get thick
You're
enough.
just going to change right in the middle of the show and go.
If it doesn't get thick enough, it's because I put a little bit too much milk in it. I didn't have a small can to see how many ounces was in it, but I don't even know that you can buy those small cans
I haven't seen them lately.
of evaporated milk anymore. I mean, I don't know.
That's thickening up.
It is thickening up, yeah. Just keep beating it, and it's really smooth. I'm scared I'm gonna get water in my, all right. Yeah, it's getting thick. Okay. I'm just trying to be careful because I don't want it to, let me check something. All right, I'm gonna bring you can back up a little bit now, baby.
You're going to see how it
I'm
spreads.
gonna see, yeah, how it spreads.
Whoa. Looking good.
Okay, if you want it thicker, I'm not sure that I want mine any thicker. I think I just want mine, it's like kind of a glaze. But if you want it thicker, you just keep beating it until it gets as thick as you want it. Turn my burner off. I feel that heat. It's already getting thick. Look there. Can you see that?
Mm-hmm.
It's
beginning
harder
to drag.
Yeah, it's dragging. It's harder to stir. Yeah.
You don't want to get too draggy now. You can't smear it.
No, I don't. Okay. All right.
You got to smear that on.
All right. I'm going to take that water, put it back there, and I'm going to stir it back here like this. All right. Y'all can see it's harder for me to stir than it was. Okay. And it's gonna harden once it gets on the cake, so. Okay, but I'm gonna stir it a little bit more. This is like making old-timey fudge. This is the way you used to do old-timey fudge. You'd have to stir it and stir it until it got thick. I don't make that kind of fudge no more. But it sure is good. All right. All right, that's all I'm gonna stir mine. All right, I need something on, okay. Ooh, look at that.
Oh.
Oh my goodness.
Whoa.
Y'all,
Mm-hmm.
look at that. Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Woo. Now this is perfect. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Look at it rolling down the sides. Do y'all love caramel like I do? It is my favorite. Now, if you want it thicker, you can add a little confectioner sugar to this and make it a thick icing. Now it's gonna puddle down around bottom, but that's okay. Wow.
That just makes it more prettier.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. Y'all. And what I may do is leave just a little bit in the pan, let it get a little bit thicker, and coat the very top. I may do that. Right. Y'all can do yours any way you want. Leave it puddled, or I'm just going to unpuddle it a little bit. So it'll cover the whole cake. You can leave it just drizzled, or you can do like me and just kind of cover the whole cake.
Well, is it important to get your pecans on there while it's sticky?
Well, it's not going to be, it's going to be sticky for a little while.
Okay.
So, okay. All right, y'all. Now, you can leave yours like I did with a little loose, or you can just keep beating it until it gets thicker. Whichever one you want to do. I want mine like this.
Pecans go on now?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
All right.
Woo.
I got my caramel pecans here.
Those
Look at
pecan
this.
pantry pecans are
Pecan pantry
beautiful.
pecans. Look at this. Y'all, I'm getting the prettiest ones. The ones that look a lot alike. Y'all look at this. Now, let me tell you.
Hey, that's coming together real nicely.
Let me tell you.
Charles will be proud of you
I'm telling
for
you.
doing these pecans and having them turn out almost as good as his.
Almost as good as his.
Man, he makes some beautiful cakes, and they taste good too. I tasted of some yesterday.
Y'all go to Charles, Everything Sweets by Charles.
YouTube.
Yep. And check out his channel. He makes some beautiful, beautiful cakes, and I got that one.
Turn around.
Yeah. Okay. Y'all, look at that.
Wow.
That is my brown sugar pound cake with caramel icing with caramel candied pecans. Now that is delicious. So.
Are you sure that's delicious?
Y'all
Yeah.
look at that. Y'all look. That is so good, y'all. All right. Let me wash my hands.
Boy, that'd be pretty.
Wow. Y'all know I'm gonna cut it.
You don't normally let me be in the room when you cut it.
I got to have a piece. I got to know how it tastes. All right, even though it's for company, I'm still gonna have a piece. All right, let me see. I think I'll cut it right here. I'm just gonna cut a little piece. Wow.
Don't you tear that cake up.
Look at that.
Wow.
Oh, look at that. Oh my goodness, y'all. I got to get a fork. Look. Wow. Now, you know what I'm going to do?
Looks good.
I'm going to get some of this caramel right here.
You wouldn't.
Well, it's already setting up.
Come here. Come on. Grandmama just hit the table.
Y'all. Y'all.
That looks good to me. Well, are you going to eat the whole piece yourself?
No, I'm going to give you some right now.
I'll come around and get it. You ain't got to feed it across the camera to me. I want to hold the plate.
Y'all.
There's a difference in holding the plate, but just taking a mouthful from you.
All right.
Now you're stuck with the plate. Look at the camera. Boy, that looks good, honey.
That is delicious.
I get to eat the pecan.
Sure. Well, you ain't saying nothing.
I'm trying not to open my mouth and let you see the cake inside.
Isn't that good? Y'all
Ooh,
need milk with that or coffee.
that pecan is delicious in it too.
Oh, I know. All right. Make you some brown sugar, pound cake, some pecan pantry, caramel, candied pecans, and some caramel icing.
Yeah. Now, if you want some of these, you need to go ahead and order them if you want them for Christmas. That's the reason we're trying to.
The link will be in my description box and the code ROSE5 to get your 5% discount.
And free shipping in the United States.
Food feeds the family, family feeds the heart, God feeds the soul. See y'all next time.